World Part 2, Section 2.222. It's the second map in a world that requires 2 to be completed, but it itself contains 2 objectives, and it's all summoned by a bell that rings 2 times. And all of these arches are split into 2 pieces. This is really pointless numerology, but I wanted to see how far I was going to go with it. Well, we're not going that way as long as you're facing this way, so how about you go fuck off? Oh, I could take the relic, I guess. But maybe I want you facing like that way or something. I don't know, we'll see. We gotta start poking around at this one to see what we're looking at. So we have a light bridge here. 2 harps, a big old network of these guys. Lots of blocks where if I'm in dark mode I won't be able to move. That's a fun problem for me. I can't get over there unless I ring the harp, and I can only ring the harp if I'm already in dark mode. So it seems like in order to proceed, I'm pretty much gonna need to take this with me. So both of these default to staring off into the nothing. So I have to reach them if I want them to actually go anywhere. My goal is to get down there. This whole level has no statues. So I'm going to need a light beam to be going down from that, I think, is the only one that'll reach it. So this guy has to be lit up and pointing that way at the end of the map. Thankfully, once you're over there, there are no more of the spiky tentacly thingies, so I can just freely point him that way. And, ooh, but this guy has to be lit up and pointing that way, because there's also a light bridge there. So that has to be open, and that has to be open, and the harp has to be able to be used, which, considering I'll be probably standing in this guy's beam when I get over there, I can probably just ring the harp right before I leave it, so that's fine. Reminding myself about something. Right, so when we're in dark mode, all of these are firing. So you need a crystal or something to enter the dark mode, but once you're there, every single one of them is activated at once. So if I have one going down like this, then this guy will already be able to activate me. So I don't need a crystal in this guy, he just needs to be pointing that way. And I can ring the harp as I'm leaving it. So right now, one of my biggest difficulties comes from trying to get over that bridge. In fact, if I get over there, we're kind of done, I think. It doesn't seem like I have other problems at that point. But the problem is that if I come at that from this direction, it's blocked, and if I come from that direction, it's blocked. So I need to be in here while not in dark mode, then somehow enter dark mode and go across. Which seems like a bit of a problem. Ah. Aha. Aha. And now what? So now we're going back to the beginning. This must be where the number of spotlights starts to make sense, because this guy seemed redundant. Like, I don't know why this spotlight existed in this puzzle. Wouldn't that guy be enough to solve the puzzle? Like, this guy seems to not serve a purpose. He doesn't add to complexity, nor does he aid in the solution. It's just an extra one. But I'm guessing he has something to do with what's going to happen next. I bet that I need him for the ending. Now I can't get across here while it's in this state. So we need to either disable you or redirect you. Probably, maybe disable. Because you create the same chain of connections. See, now I got a bit of a problem. The problem is that my character can't mantle. A funny problem to have, not being able to get over that. I think I need to reverse course. So if I do this, you'll redirect back to here, which would light this up, so I can use this. But now I think I take the gem from you. I think you can point at this other guy, right? So now I have a system for getting there again. Because the thing is, I need to be able to do that. How is this actually going to solve anything? Let's see. What did I think I was going to do? I lost my own thread. Or maybe it just never... I think I just didn't fully consider what it was. I figured, oh, this points this way. I bet that we can get this to be that part of the solution. But this guide points to here. I think in my head I was thinking that that would be able to attach to that. But instead it does not. Yep. Oh wait, no, I'll just be in a continuous tunnel, so we're good. Because it doesn't break. Huh. It's hard to keep that in mind, that it works that way. That every inactive one, once you're in dark mode, they'll all work that way. There's a lot of really unusual rules in this game that are... where a lot of the difficulty of the puzzles comes from trying to remember how those things work in conjunction with each other. We're getting there. Forbidden fruits are forbidden because someone said so, not because they're bad for you. See, now we're going, like... now we're getting all, like, heatheny. Which I fully support. But what's with the blindfolds? I inherently distrust your creepy blindfolds. Because they're creepy. And what's with these pendants? Yours is all glowy. Are you the chosen one? Did you do this? Is this you using your power? Are you guys like, is this Harry Potter? It's Leviosa, not Leviosa. Ah. Chaos. Oh god. There's a lot here. Alright, so this is now a single puzzle. We've reached the point... We're back to the earlier example of there being optional puzzles. Where it's just that from the beginning instead of being a mandatory puzzle that transitions to an optional one. Which is an interesting system, by the way. Although sometimes they're just a second puzzle in the same room that has entirely new geometry. I don't know. Sometimes the optional secondary part of the puzzle completely blows away the difficulty of the original one, and sometimes it's like, yeah, just do that. Was that supposed to be hard? I'm here to ruin your subwoofer. I have the power. Little hop at the end. Ta-da! I felt clever, at least. Howdy. Hopefully that was helpful, because I kind of just abandoned it there. Ah, it opened the gate. Ah, this is no longer in dark mode. Ah, that is a problem. Not that much of a problem, though. Just do the same trick I did a moment ago, really. Now I can catch a ride on this beam to go across this bridge. But that's the main problem, is that my first version of this plan, I think, involved taking the gem, but I did have to leave the gem in order to keep that light beam going. We'll see. It is feeding into the next part of the puzzle. It might have been necessary. There's so many of these things here now. That does not line up. That also seems kind of pointless. That goes somewhere. Or we can go here, which mostly dead ends. It's like this direction keeps the beam going long term. So that guy and that guy are these double beams. The suggestion of the very existence of this kind of thing would be that I'm supposed to bring that guy over here. There's a few things going on here. Okay, so that part of the level's not connected. So what I have to do is teleport that guy to here, so that puts me over there, then teleport with that copy of it to end up over there. And then that's the end of the level, basically. So that's a really straightforward part of the solution that's not going to be a problem. So the next thing I need to do is I need to figure out how to get this guy to not be there. Because this guy's covering this entire platform, which means I can't get past the spikes. And I don't need it to be there anyway for me to teleport, because I can just walk into any of the beams that exist to switch with the statue once it's there. So I need to get over there, just to rotate that guy in any other direction, basically. So I need to get here. Ah. But you don't line up, right? Yeah. That is issue. So I'd want to get you to get beamed. Wait. Oh, there's not a problem. It's already solved. We're good. At this point, there's so many beams, I couldn't even tell that there was a beam going in this direction already. I don't have to figure out how to power it. It's already powered. Whoops. There. Now it's a self-perpetuating infinite loop. Hooray. But yeah, once you're inside the beams, it can be surprisingly hard to notice that there's another beam going in another direction, overlapping it all, because everything just looks blue and wavy. Alright, so now I need you to help me switch with this guy. Then I switch with that guy. I have to go awaken myself. Give me a second. Is this going to be a line of sight problem? Nope. You can't swap with that here. There we go. Better. Hey, that wasn't so tough. Chaos destroys what we know and believe, but it also forces us to build a new foundation. I have a vague model in my head of the idea that there's like 3 different types of challenging puzzles. One is the one where you have to innovate and intuit something. And the Epiphany challenge, which can be the hardest challenge sometimes. It's just having a raw realization. But sometimes once you find that realization, the actual execution of said puzzles is almost instantaneous. Those are like the hardest puzzles in Portal games in many cases. Just you have to go like, ah, that's the contradiction solution thing. Then you have ones like the one I just did that are more like, it's more like a knot. Like you have a horribly tangled cable or cord or shoestring or whatever, and you just need to keep picking at it and find the little parts that make the little piece of next progress, and then you kind of untangle it, because it's just so complex that you can't process what you're looking at first glance, but if you keep poking at it, it kind of just unravels on its own. They're satisfying in their own way. And they can be engaging and amusing and especially kind of like a captivating time killer and stuff like that. But they usually don't require that much of an epiphany or a realization. Just kind of like a It's like an extended test of stuff you already know. Then you have ones that are just fucking tedious, where it's just the actual mechanisms of the world are so interconnected and often time-consuming to implement that, like, the puzzle often comes from doing very painstaking and deliberate actions where if you make one wrong step, you start the entire process over. Those are kind of the 3 types of puzzles, and they're kind of in descending order of quality a little bit, although the first 2 are both pretty good and the third one's pretty not good. We've had 1 or 2 examples of the third one in this game, but it's not super big of an issue. I don't know, I just kind of had the thought of thinking about those categories for a moment. But we've had a number of puzzles that are the first category where you'd have to genuinely make this like realization. And I was just thinking that the one I just did, Enigmatic Sight, the one I just did was more like the second kind. It was the thought I was going for, where it's just, it's not like I had to have a big aha moment like some puzzles do. But it's more like one of those satisfying little, like, you gotta pick at the knot until it comes apart moments. But yeah, definitely my least favorite puzzles in this game are the ones where there's like a big locked gate like halfway through the level and a complicated series of light tunnels or other light activations that make it possible to get past that gate, and then the moment you move to the next step of the puzzle, every action you do breaks the puzzle, so that if you don't do it perfectly in that one run, you start the entire puzzle over. Those are one of the more unfortunate elements of what this game's entire mechanic structure can encourage. There was some of that with Baba Is You also. Because Baba Is You was a game where you could break the entire level in one button press. It had an undo feature though, which could rectify some of those versions of that problem, but not all of them. This seems to be a deceptively small level. So there's my goal. There's the gate. There's the statue. Hup. So I want the statue to be there, but I need to be able to ring this, which I can only do when I'm in the dark state. But this guy, if I switch to that, like this is inherently a switching oriented mechanic, and every time I switch with this thing, I'll then be behind the spikes. Are we good or not? Maybe. Yep, there we go. That one went pretty cleanly. A new mindset often leads to seeing new truths. With that, I think we might have just finished this chapter. The second area. Ever since we got to this keep. This temple, or school. Interested in finding out where the hell this society goes. So I have 20 optional challenges so far. So what is the deal with this place? We have ascended to the top. What? Oh, hi. I remember you from earlier. Oh, the trees are regrowing. There were stumps a moment ago. Oh, they're holding the ring still? Is this like graduation? Oh, he's way taller now. Are those his parents? Hello. Well, that was beautiful. And a lot to take in at once a little bit. So here he is again. These guys really remind me of The Witness, the series of statues that are telling snapshots of some kind of life or whatever was going on. Just because they leaned heavy into that. So I assume this is the same kid we've seen in the old game. So he's now an adult. He's apparently taller than me, which I'm not used to. That's not a feeling I'm used to having. Although I seem to be. It looks like everyone's taller than me. So, Am I a child? I only just now realized that I think I've maybe been at head height with the other kids in this game. I was gonna say, like, good job on losing the weight, dude, when I thought this was the two kids from earlier. But I think those are his parents. So now where are we going? Oh. Well, that's a trip. Chapter 3, I guess. The Temple of the Tree. If the first one was the Temple of the Sun. We venture beyond what we've learned to see the truth, so we can understand how our views were obstructed. I still find myself inherently frustrated by the just relentlessly vague, like unspecific phrasing of every word and sentence in this game. It's like they're designed to frustrate me. Vision. Well, this is nice. This is very nice. We're heavy on the columns right now. Looks like it's an open-air temple this time. Oh, we're leaning heavy into the columns. Yep. Now it's time to learn to be a druid. Oh. Hi. Neat. All right. Yeah, I think these are basically basalt columns. They're just very strangely like some of them look more like joined together the way they kind of should be, but there's also like every random size possible, and these ones are just weirdly in the middle of this other existing column. Like this seems to be a giant column, and these are little columns sticking out of the column, and I'm like, that's not how any of this works. Not that any of the spaces we've been in so far made any sense anyway, so I guess this similar reality warping nonsensicalness will apply to columnar jointing too. And it'll just be like utter nonsense. Alright. Pretty tree. There's another desktop wallpaper moment right there.